Before Sicily fell, the Mediterranean shook with fear. An army was crossing the sea, not led by a king, not by a conqueror hungry for power, but by a scholar, a man who carried knowledge in one hand and war in the other. And when his ships appeared beyond the horizon, history changed forever. This is the story of Asad ibn al-Furat. Long before war filled the sea, Asad lived among books, inside the great mosques of North Africa. He studied Islamic law, taught students, and became respected for his intelligence and wisdom. People traveled long distances just to hear him speak. But Asad believed something important. Knowledge alone was not enough. A man must also defend his people. At that time, the Mediterranean had become a battlefield between empires, and beyond the sea stood Sicily, a wealthy island controlled by the Byzantine Empire. For years, Muslim rulers dreamed of reaching it, but the journey across the sea was terrifying. Violent storms destroyed ships, armies vanished beneath the waves, and many believed Sicily could never truly be conquered. Then, one day, Muslim leaders gathered to discuss a dangerous plan, an invasion of Sicily. Most expected young generals to volunteer, but instead, an old scholar stood up. Asad ibn al-Furat. Despite his age, he volunteered to lead the expedition himself. The room fell silent, because this was no ordinary scholar. He possessed wisdom, faith, and the courage of a warrior. Soon, massive warships filled the harbors of North Africa. Blacksmiths forged weapons day and night. Soldiers sharpened swords beside the sea. And under fiery sunset skies, the fleet prepared to sail. Then, the ships left the shore. The Mediterranean was merciless. Gigantic waves crashed against wooden ships. Thunder shook the sky. Lightning illuminated endless darkness. Some soldiers feared they would never survive the journey. But Asad remained calm. He walked between the ships encouraging the men, reciting words that gave them strength. And slowly, the fleet moved closer to Sicily. Then finally, through fog and storm, the island appeared on the horizon. Sicily. The invasion had begun. Muslim soldiers stormed the beaches beneath chaos and resistance. The Byzantine defenses fought fiercely. Arrows filled the sky. The sounds of battle echoed across the coastline. But Asad fought beside his men despite his old age. His presence inspired courage across the battlefield, and his leadership united the army during its hardest moments. Victory did not come easily. The campaign became long and brutal. Battles consumed the island. Disease spread through the camps. Exhausted soldiers struggled to survive. And eventually, Asad himself became ill. But even while growing weaker, he refused to abandon the army. He continued guiding the soldiers until his final days. Then, the scholar who crossed the sea died far from home. But his mission did not die with him. Years later, Muslim rule expanded across Sicily. The island transformed into one of the greatest centers of Islamic civilization in Europe. Mosques rose beside the sea. Science flourished. Trade expanded across the Mediterranean. And Sicily itself changed forever. Because one scholar, Anom, believed knowledge and courage belonged together. And when his ships crossed the sea, history changed forever. This was the story of Asad ibn al-Furat,